Hey everyone, it's Ariel, and I have zero confidence. Hey everyone, it's Ariel. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about confidence, and the fact that I have zero. I don't know how to start this video because I have no confidence. Hi, my name is Ariel, and I have no confidence. Okay, so today's video is all about confidence, specifically self-confidence, what it is, the importance of it, how you can be more self-confident. So first I want to get into what confidence even is. Like, what is confidence? So confidence in general is defined by this: the feeling or belief that one can rely on someone or something. In other words, a feeling of firm trust. Now, self-confidence, which is more so what we're going to be talking about in this video, self-confidence is a state of being clear-headed, either that a hypothesis or prediction is correct or that a chosen course of action is the best or most effective. Therefore, having self-confidence is having trust in one's self. So I feel like self-confidence is a very personal thing. I think some people are naturally just more confident than others, and some have very low self-confidence. Right over here. And there's a few different angles to this as well. Like, I think there is truth to kind of like faking it till you make it type of thing.
What do you do on those days that you don't feel that confident or fearless or powerful like you did out there?
Pretend.
Fake it?
Yeah.
Until we make it?
I mean, why not?
So even if you don't necessarily feel confident, you can just act confident, and eventually you might actually start to feel confident. Kind of like how when you smile, even if you're in a really bad mood, but if you smile, like a really big smile, that can actually help you feel happier. And I think there is some like science to that, like the muscles trigger something in your brain that makes you feel happier. I don't know exactly. I'm not a doctor. But sort of like that. So that is a way that you can feel more confident in yourself, just by kind of acting confident, and just hope that eventually you'll actually feel that way instead of having to fake it. But I also want to dig a little bit deeper into self-confidence and kind of like what the effects are of having low self-confidence, what you can do to change it, and kind of the importance of just being a confident person and having confidence in yourself. So first of all, I want to talk about the importance of it. So I found this screenshot here that I feel like sums it up really well. What happens when you are confident in yourself just sums up the importance of it in one little sentence, so I'm going to read it to you. Greater self-confidence allows you to experience freedom from self-doubt and negative thoughts about yourself, experiencing more fearlessness and less anxiety. Greater confidence makes you more willing to take smart risks and more able to move outside your comfort zone. So confidence, even though we're talking just kind of about one word, it does tie into a lot more than that, like anxiety, overall feeling about yourself, self-esteem, how positive or negative you are, or how you talk about yourself. All of these things, they all kind of fall under the umbrella of self-confidence. And by the way, this is coming from somebody who suffers from anxiety, low self-confidence, low self-esteem. Like, I am the lowest of the low. No, not the lowest of the lows, come on. But I do really like struggle with this, and that's why I wanted to talk about it, because, well, to be really honest with you, lately I've been noticing that my confidence has just been like plummeting. Like, I feel like it was fine a few months ago. Like, I was feeling good, happy with myself, confident, and all of a sudden it's just like tanked, like gone. And I'm like, why is that? So I've been thinking a lot about this, and that's why I wanted to make a video about it, because I decided to just kind of look into it and figure out what is making me feel like this, and what can I do to change it? Because I know it's important. I know it's important. But for some reason, something in my brain just tells me, you know, negative self-talk, things like, you're not good enough, why are you even trying? You know, I mean, let's not talk about that too much, that's too negative. But just negative self-talk, and I've just been feeling really low about myself. So that's why we're talking about it today, because I'm trying to get out of that negative cycle of thoughts and just negative feelings about myself. And as someone with anxiety, I'm always looking for ways to kind of like combat it and just fight it, really, because I feel like that's what you need to do. Otherwise, you just keep finding ways to like support your anxiety, and it can like really bring you down. So that's why we're talking about the importance of self-confidence. So as the quote said, greater self-confidence allows you to experience freedom from self-doubt and negative thoughts about yourself. So I feel like that's kind of like the general way to say it. And then I also kind of broke it down into 5 like not steps, but 5 things that can come with having greater self-confidence. So I'm gonna just list these off, starting with number 1, which is more fearlessness. So when you have greater self-confidence and when you feel just better and more positive about yourself, that can lead to more fearlessness. So being less afraid to try new things, less afraid to put yourself out there, less afraid to follow your passion, and just fully like believe in yourself and trust that you can do whatever it is you want to do because you can. And I think it also helps you worry less about what others think of you. Even if somebody doesn't like specifically say something about you and what they think about you, there is like sometimes just a sense of like, oh, I wonder what they're thinking of me. They're probably thinking like, I suck at this, or why does she think she's good enough to do that? Like those kinds of things. I think when you're more self-confident, you have a lot less of those thoughts. And then you just have more freedom to actually be yourself. You're just not so worried about what the outside world's perception of you is. You can just be yourself freely. Next one is decreasing anxiety. So this is a big one for me. I have already said a couple times that I struggle with anxiety. So again, going back to like just feelings of people don't think I'm good at this, people don't like me, or why do they like me? Just really negative self-talk and negative feelings towards yourself. I think that's a lot of what anxiety is, depending on like the kind of anxiety you have, because obviously there's different forms of it and it kind of like manifests itself in different ways for everybody. But that is definitely a big one. I think anxiety is really closely tied with self-confidence, and just how you feel about yourself really shows in your confidence levels. You know what I mean? So if you're more confident, you don't have that like feeling of anxiety and like, what are people thinking of me, and why do I think I can even do this? I'm not good enough, blah, blah, blah. You don't have any of those, and we don't need them. We need to stop that. The third thing that can happen when you are more self-confident is positive self-worth or self-esteem. I think that for me personally, self-worth is probably one that I struggle with the most. I mean, it's tied in with my anxiety, but self-worth is a big one. And I don't want to make this too personal because this could get really deep really fast, but I definitely struggle with this. And even though these are all different things like self-worth, self-esteem, self-confidence, I think self-confidence is at the top of them. Because if you don't have confidence, then what is your self-worth? What is your self-esteem? Like those two, they can't be without confidence, you know? I think your self-worth and your self-esteem just kind of follow when you have self-confidence. And I really think that self-worth and just having low self-esteem can really destroy people. Speaking from personal experience. Because a lot of that is about like finding your purpose. And I just think for you to have like positive feelings of self-worth and better self-esteem, you have to just first be confident. You have to believe in yourself before those two things can follow. And it is so important. So important. The fourth thing is increasing motivation. So I feel like sometimes just naturally as humans, we try to like look to other people for motivation, inspiration, and we try to like take things from outside sources to kind of help us with what's inside and help us feel that same way, feel motivated, feel inspired. But I think if you have self-confidence, if you already feel good about yourself, it's a lot easier to just naturally feel motivated because you already know you can reach your goals and you already know that what you're doing is worth it and you have value and all these things. Because I think a lot of times that's already inside of us, like that's already in us. We don't always have to look for outside sources of motivation and inspiration. It's already in there. We just have to wake it up a little bit and encourage it. But I think that with that comes more just overall happiness with your life, because to put it simply, the happier you are about yourself, the happier your life is going to feel in general. And obviously we want to be as happy as we can, right? Do we not? And the fifth thing that comes with greater self-confidence is better relationships. Because when you are confident in yourself, you will also develop a sense of security with just who you are as a person. And that can really affect how your relationships play out. Not just romantic relationships, but even relationships with family, relationships with friends. I think it overall just improves relationships in general because you are more secure in yourself, in your personality, and you just understand your values more. And I think that in general just makes it easier to attract and also maintain relationships. So those are some of the things that come with having greater confidence, but now you might be thinking, okay, so how do I become more confident? Where do I even start? And I'm kind of asking myself the same question, but it does come down to a handful of things. One being acceptance. I think the first step to anything or working through anything is accepting that it's even there. So if you want to become a more confident person, you have to first accept that there is a lack of confidence in yourself, and you also have to be willing to change it. So you have to first become aware of it, think to yourself, okay, there is some lacking there. I could be, you know, a more confident person. And you also have to be willing to change. So you have to be willing to put the work in, put in the effort to actually become more confident. But acceptance is definitely number one. Number two is to make a conscious effort every single day and just stay aware of the changes that need to be made. Maybe what habits you have that are feeding into the lack of self-confidence, maybe negative self-talk, feeling fearful and afraid to try things or trust yourself that you can do new things. So just kind of staying mindful of those things and actually being willing to change them and putting in the effort every single day to reach that goal of becoming more confident. Number three is to get rid of negativity. So whether that is negative self-talk, whether that's negative people that are kind of participating in damaging your self-confidence, whether that is behaviors that you do regularly that are affecting your confidence. Take note of those things that are just kind of letting you sit in negativity a bit too much, and try to replace them with more positive things. So positive self-talk, or when you notice you're doing a negative behavior that you aren't supposed to be doing, try to take note of that and replace it with something more positive. Like doing something you love to do or doing something that does make you feel good and confident. And I think also just feeling gratitude, like just feeling grateful for what you do already have and not just always kind of being sad and letting yourself kind of think and talk negatively about, you know, the way you wish you looked or what you wish you had and what this person has that you don't and those kinds of things. Like you have to replace those with more positive thoughts, positive self-talk. And if you have negative people that are like just bringing you down constantly, get rid of them. Cut them right off. You don't need that in your life. And replace them with more positive people and supportive people that are going to help you reach your goals and be a more confident and positive person. And it's not going to be easy. It is really not going to be easy. It's going to be hard. Very hard. But slowly you'll realize how much you've been holding yourself back and you've really just been hurting yourself for no reason. Like, eventually you'll realize how much potential you have and just you'll become aware of all of the value you can provide. Instead of holding yourself back, you'll start to kind of feel yourself grow and become a better person and more confident. The fourth thing is to put yourself out there. So don't be afraid to try new things, sign up for a new class, host a dinner party, do things that you've never done before that will help you kind of boost your confidence and feel better about yourself and feel like, I can do these things. Do more things that you know will help you feel confident, and face your fears. That's a big one, because that's the only way you can grow. Like, you have to face those fears head on, headbutt them. The only way you can grow and blossom and become a better person is by facing your fears and just being brave enough to actually like work through them. And stick with it and just face your fears. Don't be afraid. And I think you also kind of ultimately have to treat yourself like somebody you love, because I think a lot of times we talk to ourselves like somebody we hate. We talk so negatively about ourselves. But it's funny because if a friend comes to you with, let's say they're having a bad day, they're like, I don't feel good, I suck at this, I'm just really sad about this part of me, and they need help, they need advice. You would come to them with positive advice, you would say like, you can do this, you know, feel good about it, like, you got this, don't be negative. And I feel like when it's ourselves, we're so quick to just go to the negative, you suck, you're not doing good enough. It's not good. We have to treat ourselves like a close friend that needs our help and we care about them, you know? You just have to be kind to yourself. Now, all of that said, none of this means that you're not gonna fail. So even if you follow all these tips and you are like, okay, I'm gonna become a more positive person, more confident in myself. You're still gonna have down days and you're still gonna fail. That's part of it. There's always gonna be good days and bad days. You're not always just gonna be like this with your mental health. It's always gonna go in waves, and there's gonna be down days and there's gonna be really high days. But I think that life is all about learning and unlearning, and the only way you can really make a change is by actually just getting up and doing it. And you have to also do it for you. Do it for yourself. Don't do it for your partner or your parents or your neighbor that thinks you're not doing a good job. You have to do it for you. You have to be willing to change for yourself, for the betterment of yourself. You only. Only you. But you really just have to decide to make a change and then just stick with it. And there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to feel confident and happy with ourselves. And we're all unique. We're all different. We all have something different to offer the world. And I think what it comes down to is just proving it to ourselves. Because if you don't have confidence in yourself, then why would anyone else, you know? It's all just, it has to come from inside. It has to come from you. But I think that's all I have for today. I know this is like a slightly different style from what I normally do, but I just personally have been feeling really low lately, and I decided what better way to get through it than to talk about it and figure out what I can do to change the way I'm feeling and to just feel better about myself, because like I said, we all deserve to feel good and happy about ourselves and just like comfortable with who we are. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it helpful in some way. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Subscribe if you're not already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.